Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are going to get a little uncomfortable right off the bat.
Oh, okay. We're starting off on a high note, I see.
Well, we have to. We have to address a really universal pain point. I want you to just imagine a scenario. You've spent months, I mean literally months, analyzing a workflow at your company. You've got the data, you've got the flow charts.
Right. You've designed a new process that is, objectively better.
Totally. It saves money, it saves time, it's elegant. You are, like, ready to revolutionize the workplace.
And I can see where this is going.
You roll it out on a Monday morning, big presentation.
There's coffee, there are slides.
Everyone nods. And then by Wednesday, maybe 2 people are doing it.
If you're lucky.
By Friday, nobody. It is like the meeting never even happened, and you're just left there wondering, why is everyone so stubborn?
Yeah, that is the classic implementation gap. The plan is perfect on paper, but in the real world, it just falls flat.
Exactly. And usually when that happens, we blame the process. We think, oh, I missed a step. Or maybe the software is too clunky.
But the research we're looking at today suggests we're looking in the wrong place entirely.
The problem isn't the process.
It's the humans.
It is the humans.
Yeah.
Or more specifically, how we invite those humans into the change.
Exactly.
So today we are doing a deep dive into a very, very practical guide from a company called Greystride. It's titled, How to Get Your Team on Board with Process Improvement Changes. And what stood out to me right away is that this is not high-level corporate fluff, It's not full of buzzwords.
No, it's a real framework. It's 6 steps that deal with the messy reality of human psychology at work.
That's what I liked about it, too. It doesn't pretend that you can just, send an email and magically change how people behave.
Right. It acknowledges that skepticism is the default setting for most teams.
And it aims to turn that skepticism into enthusiasm, which honestly sounds like a pretty tall order.
It is. But the framework is solid. It moves us away from what they call the Big Bang rollout.
The Big Bang.
Changing everything overnight and just praying that it works.
Right.
And it moves us towards something much more sustainable, a continuous, human-centric approach.
Okay, so before we jump into the 6 steps, and there are some really specific examples to cover, like using WhatsApp groups and even preferred parking spots.
Oh, the parking spot is brilliant.
It's my favorite part. But before that, we have to talk about the foundation. The guide says there's a prerequisite. You can't even start step 1 until you solve for the why.
This is the YM factor.
The YM factor.
Yeah, what's in it for me?
Ah, right, of course.
It's the question every single employee asks, the second you announce a change, whether they say it out loud or not.
And I think this is where leaders so often miss the mark. They answer the why from the company's perspective. They'll say, we need to improve Q3 efficiency by 4%. Or we need to optimize supply chain logistics.
Exactly. And the person working on the loading dock hears that and just thinks, great, so shareholders get richer and I get a new confusing form to fill out.
That is not a motivator.
It's a burden. And the Greystride guide is very, very clear on this. You cannot explain how to do a task until you have explained why it matters to the individual who's doing it.
Okay, so what are the benefits that actually resonate with people? Because efficiency is just a buzzword. What does it look like on the ground?
The source lists a few that are really tangible. The first one is less firefighting.
Oh, I love that term. We've all been there.
It's that feeling, that exhausted feeling of running from one crisis to another all day long.
Right.
If you can look a team member in the eye and say, this new process means you won't have to stay late fixing errors on a Friday afternoon, well, now you have their attention.
That is huge. It's about predictability. It's about getting your life back.
Exactly. Predictable schedules, fewer bottlenecks, smoother workflows. And the guide also mentions job security.
That's a heavy hitter.
It really is. A more efficient company is a more stable company. When the bottom line is strong, everyone's job is safer. And that's a very real, very primal motivator.
The guide talks about painting a picture of this future. I think that's such a crucial distinction. It's not just listing benefits.
No, it's about visualizing the day-to-day. It's saying, imagine a shift where the label printer doesn't jam every single hour.
Or, imagine leaving work with your energy levels intact so you can actually enjoy your evening.
Precisely.
Oh.
And this connects to a really interesting psychological point the source makes about pride.
Okay.
When people understand the personal benefit, when they see that this change makes their work better, compliance starts to shift into ownership.
So you're not just following a rule because the boss said so.
You're doing it because you take pride in a smooth operation. You're shifting from I have to I want to.
And you just can't get there without laying that foundation first.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established the why. We've painted the picture. Now let's get into the mechanics. The framework starts with step 1, the voice of the team.
This step is basically the antidote to the ivory tower syndrome.
Right, where management designs a process in a conference room without ever stepping foot on the factory floor.
And the guide is so explicit here. Involve the team early and often. And they do not mean just the supervisors.
No, they mean everyone, from frontline operators all the way up. The source makes a great point here. The people doing the work are the only ones who know where the real friction points are.
For sure. If you're in an office, you might think the problem is the software interface.
But the person on the line knows the actual problem is that the barcode scanner cord is 6 inches too short.
Exactly. And if you don't ask them, you end up solving the wrong problem. The guide suggests 2 tactics here. First, brainstorming sessions.
But not just a complaining session.
No, structured. And second is this idea of cross-functional teams.
Can you unpack that a bit? Why is mixing up the roles so important?
It just breaks down silos. You know how it is in many companies. Sales hates operations. Operations is annoyed with logistics.
It's us versus them.
Always. But if you put a salesperson, a warehouse manager, and a logistics coordinator in a room together to solve one specific process problem, something magic happens.
They start to see the other side of the coin.
They build empathy. The salesperson realizes, oh, if I enter the order this way, it creates 3 extra hours of work for you. Suddenly, the process improvement isn't an imposition. It's a way to help out a teammate.
I love that. The guide also gives us a very specific action step for this. It says to schedule a 30-minute voice of the team meeting. But what I really appreciate is they give you the script. They suggest asking 2 specific open-ended questions.
Right. The questions are, what slows you down most? And how could this process help you deliver better results?
Why do those specific questions work so well?
Because they validate the employee's experience. You aren't asking, why are you so slow?
Right.
You're asking, what is slowing you down? You're positioning yourself as an ally against the obstacle, not as the enemy.
It turns the whole dynamic from management versus employee to team versus the problem.
That is a subtle but incredibly powerful shift.
Okay, let's move to step 2. You've listened, you've brainstormed, now you have to actually roll it out. Step 2 is communication and visualization.
And the core insight here is that silence breeds fear.
Oh, absolutely. In the absence of information, people make up their own stories, and they are usually horror stories.
They're changing the process to lay us off. They're tracking our every move.
All of it. Change is scary because it's the unknown. So the source argues that the antidote is over-communication.
But, and this is a really key point, not just dumping information on people.
Right. We have all gotten that 5-page PDF attached to an email that says new safety protocols. Does anyone actually read that?
No. You skim the first paragraph and you file it away. The guide lists a whole toolkit of channels that actually match how people work.
Toolbox talks, bulletin boards, email bulletins.
Yeah.
But the one that stood out to me as really modern was WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Using WhatsApp for work is becoming so common, especially in operational roles where people aren't, sitting at a desk all day.
It acknowledges reality. If your team is on their feet, they're on their phones during breaks.
So meet them there in a chat group. It feels more informal, more immediate. It breaks down that formality barrier.
It feels less like a corporate mandate and more like a team chat.
But the content matters, too. The source is very, very heavy on visuals.
So why is visual communication so much better than text in this context?
It's all about cognitive load. Learning something new takes brain power, right? If I have to decode a wall of text, that is high effort. If you show me a picture, that's low effort. The guide suggests flowcharts, simple diagrams, and my personal favorite, before and after snapshots.
Those are so satisfying.
They're so persuasive. Here is the messy staging area before, here it is organized after. You don't need to write a paragraph explaining why the new way is better.
The picture proves it instantly.
It bypasses the skepticism center of the brain and goes right to the, ooh, that just looks better part.
The guide also really emphasizes repetition. It says you have to repeat the key messages until they become part of daily conversation.
There's a marketing rule of thumb, the rule of 7. Someone needs to hear a message 7 times before it really sinks in.
So you can't just say it at the Monday meeting and assume you're done.
No, you have to say it, post it, message it, and show it.
Which brings us to the action step for step 2. I love this. It's the one slide or poster rule.
This is such a great discipline test for any manager. Can you boil the entire new process down to 3 simple steps on a single slide or poster?
And if you can't,
Then your process is probably too complicated. If it takes 3 pages to explain, it is going to fail on the floor.
that's a great litmus test.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to step 3. I feel like this is the secret sauce of the whole framework. It is all about change champions.
Right. This leverages social dynamics. Every workplace is a social network, and the organizational chart doesn't always reflect who actually holds the influence.
It really doesn't. You have the manager, but then you have, let's call him Dave. Dave's been there for 15 years. He knows how to fix the coffee machine.
He knows where the extra paper is stored.
Exactly. And if Dave rolls his eyes at the new process, everyone else rolls their eyes too.
That's it. Dave is a natural leader. The guide calls them process ambassadors. And the strategy here is simple. Do not ignore Dave. Co-opt him.
So how do you do that? Especially if Dave is a bit of a skeptic.
You bring him in first, you give him early access, you ask for his input before anyone else even sees it. If you can turn a skeptic into an advocate, their endorsement is worth 10 times more than the manager's endorsement.
Because the rest of the team trusts him.
Peer trust is so powerful. The source notes that people are much more willing to ask stupid questions to a peer than to a boss.
That's so true. I'm not going to raise my hand in the big meeting and look incompetent.
No way. But you'll ask Dave in the break room. So if Dave knows the answers and is positive about it, all that anxiety just dissipates.
But you have to set these champions up for success. You can't just slap a title on them.
No, you have to equip them, give them extra training, give them talking points, make them feel special.
And celebrate them. The text says to celebrate their wins publicly.
Yes, because that creates a positive feedback loop. If the team sees that being a champion gets you recognition, high fives, maybe a free lunch,
Suddenly other people want to be champions too.
you're basically gamifying the social status within the team.
The action step here is to identify 2 or 3 of these natural leaders this week. Don't overthink it. Just look for the people that others look up to.
And then given the FAQs, let them do the peer-to-peer coaching. It takes so much weight off your shoulders as the leader.
Okay, step 4. This addresses the capability gap. Because sometimes, even with the best intentions, people just don't know how to do the new thing. This step is training and resources, but meeting people where they are.
The source puts it perfectly. Good intentions fail if people lack confidence. And just think about that. If I'm worried I'm going to break the new system or delete an important file.
I'm just going to stick to the old way. It feels safer.
Exactly. So we have to build confidence. But nobody wants to sit in a 4-hour training seminar.
God, no. The guide suggests on-the-job coaching, which ties back to our champions.
Right. Pair people up for the first few days. It's so much less intimidating to have a colleague say, hey, just click this button, than to have a supervisor hovering over you with a clipboard.
And they double down on the digital aspect here, too. They call them digital aids.
This is all about microlearning. Short, mobile-friendly videos.
Like a TikTok for work.
Basically, yeah. Imagine a driver on a delivery route. They can't stop and read a manual,
Well,
but while they're waiting for a truck to back in, they can watch a 30-second video on their phone that shows exactly how to scan the new delivery code.
it's just-in-time information.
That's it. It's there right when you need it.
And the action step here is so doable. Create 1 2-minute video demonstrating a key change and share it via the WhatsApp group.
And please, for everyone listening, it does not need to be a cinematic masterpiece. Don't hire a film crew.
Wow.
Just pull out your phone, point it at the screen or the machine, record it, and hit send. Authentic and a little gritty is actually better. It feels more accessible. It feels real.
Okay, step 5. This is where we start talking about momentum. Start small, celebrate wins. This goes right back to avoiding that big bang failure.
We've seen this happen so many times. A company tries to change everything. New software, new shifts, new roles, all on the same day.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It is. It overwhelms the people, and it usually breaks the systems.
So the source suggests the pilot approach.
Yes. Try the process in one area or even one shift. It lowers the stakes so much. If it fails small. You learn, you tweak it, nobody panics.
It's a sandbox.
But if it succeeds, now you have data. and not theoretical data, real data from your floor. You can go to the other teams and say, look, Shift A used the new process, and they finished loading 20 minutes early.
And that leads to the celebration part,
Yeah.
to broadcast those wins.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
The guide suggests low-cost rewards, thank you notes, shout-outs, but there was one specific example in there that I just loved,
The parking spot.
the preferred parking spot for a week.
It is brilliant. I mean, think about the ROI on that. It cost the company $0.
Nothing.
Literally nothing. But the psychological value?
It's huge.
It's pure status. It is visible. Every single person who walks into the building that morning walks past that car and thinks, oh, Sarah got the spot because she nailed the new inventory system.
It signals what the culture values.
It proves that the change is working and that engaging with it actually pays off.
So the action step for step 5 is to choose a single task to pilot. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Track one key metric and then share the success.
And maybe rope off that parking spot. Just put a cone there. Reserved for process champion. So simple.
Finally, we reach step 6, closing the feedback loop. Because, as the source wisely notes, no process is perfect on day one.
This is where so many implementations just die a slow death. You launch it, and then you stop listening. But the people doing the work will find the flaws. They will find the edge cases. Hey, this form doesn't work for international shipping, or this tool doesn't fit in the holster.
And if you don't listen to that, you lose them.
Right. But it is not just about listening. The source emphasizes a crucial step that almost everyone forgets. You have to close the loop.
What does that mean, practically?
It means reporting back. If you ask for feedback and people give it to you and then you go silent, that is actually worse than never asking in the first place.
Because you're telling them their voice doesn't matter.
It's a feedback black hole. You have to come back and say, hey, we heard you about the label printer, we looked into it, and we're ordering a new one.
Or even, we heard you, but we can't change it right now because of the budget, but we are working on it.
Yes. So even a no is better than silence.
100%. A no with an explanation shows respect. Silence just shows indifference.
The source also suggests keeping a shared log of lessons learned. Documentation is so key here so you don't make the same mistakes next time.
It's about building institutional memory. It prevents you from reinventing the wheel every 6 months.
The final action step involves launching a simple form paper or digital asking for one good idea and one challenge each week.
I really like that balance.
Yeah.
One good idea, one challenge. It forces people to think critically, not just complain.
Right. It frames them as problem solvers. It keeps the dialogue constructive.
So we've walked through all 6 steps. We had the foundation of why, involve the team, communicate visually, empower champions, train simply, start small, and close the loop. When you zoom out and you look at this whole framework, what is the big picture message from Greystride here?
The synthesis is that process improvement isn't a destination. It's not a box you check off. It is a journey.
Right.
It's not something you do to your team. It's something you do with them.
That distinction is everything, to them versus with them.
And the ultimate goal, as the source puts it, is transforming change from extra work into a smarter way to work.
And when you achieve that, the benefits just ripple out.
Safer operations, more profitable quarters, job security. It's moving the whole culture from compliance, I have to do this or I get fired, to commitment, I want to do this because it makes us all better.
Now, before we let you go, we want to leave you with a provocative thought to mull over. We talk about those change champions, the Daves of the
They're
world.
the linchpins.
The source suggests they are the key to success.
They really are. They're the influencers of your corporate culture, whether they have a title or not.
So look around your team tomorrow. I mean, really look. Who are the unofficial leaders?
It might not be the loudest voice.
No. It might be the quiet one in the corner who organizes the birthday lunches, or the one everyone makes eye contact with when the boss leaves the room.
Whoever they are, the source suggests they hold the keys to your next success. If you can get them on board, the rest of the team will follow.
That's your challenge.
Yeah.
Try just one of these action steps this week. Maybe it's the 2-minute video, maybe it's the voice of the team meeting, or maybe, just maybe, you go buy a traffic cone and reserve that preferred parking spot.
Let us know how it goes.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.